How can a billionaire's wife smell this bad? Amara, when was the last time you bathed?
I don't remember. Yesterday, last week. I use perfume.
They called her the luckiest woman in Lagos. Amara Kingsley never corrected them. Every morning, sunlight poured through the glass walls of the Kingsley mansion in Banana Island, bouncing off marble floors so polished they reflected a woman who looked flawless. Silk robe, perfect hair, diamond studs that caught the light with every turn of her head. And yet, beneath the elegance, beneath the billionaire lifestyle Instagram pages envied, Amara lived in quiet fear. Not of poverty, not of gossip, not even of her powerful husband. She feared water. No one noticed at first. The staff only knew Madame Amara as the woman who loved perfume. French perfume, Arabic perfume, oil-based perfume, powdered perfume. She layered them like armor. Before breakfast, perfume. Before stepping into the car, perfume. Before greeting guests, perfume. Her dressing room smelled like a luxury duty-free shop. Madame likes to smell good, the maids whispered. But what they didn't know was that the perfume wasn't an indulgence. It was a cover-up. Because Amara Kingsley, billionaire's wife, hadn't taken a proper bath in years. Not with water running freely over her skin, not with soap and sponge like everyone else. She wiped herself, she masked herself, she hid, and she prayed no one would ever come close enough to notice. Her husband, Richard Kingsley, rarely did. Richard was always busy. Board meetings, private jets, phone calls at midnight. A man who measured love in provision, not presence. When he kissed her, it was quick. When he held her, it was distant. When he looked at her, it was like looking at a painting, admiring but untouching. Amara preferred it that way. Distance was safety, because intimacy came with questions, and questions came with truth. Every evening after Richard left for another dinner or another meeting, Amara would sit alone in the massive bathtub that looked like a spa feature in a 5-star hotel. She never turned on the tap. She would sit there fully dressed, hugging her knees, staring at the chrome faucet like it was a snake waiting to strike. Sometimes her hands shook. Sometimes tears slipped silently into the empty tub. Then she would stand up, wipe her skin carefully with scented wipes, layer on perfume again, and step back into the illusion of perfection. No one knew, until the smell began to fight back. At first, it was subtle. The air conditioning technician frowned one afternoon. The driver rolled down the windows a little too quickly. One of the housemaids started opening windows whenever Madame passed. Amara noticed everything. She always had. Fear sharpens the senses. She began using stronger perfumes, cheaper ones, more aggressive ones. Her skin reacted. Rashes, dark patches, burning sensations. Still, she refused water because water carried memories, and memories were worse than shame. Then came the invitation. The Kingsley Foundation annual charity gala. A room filled with Lagos elites, politicians, foreign investors, press. Richard insisted she attend. "You are my wife," he said casually. "Appearances matter." Amara smiled and nodded. Inside, something screamed. That night would change everything. Because heat, crowds, and fear have a way of exposing secrets no perfume can hide. And Amara Kingsley was about to be seen, for the first time, not as a billionaire's wife, but as a woman who had been hiding for far too long. Fear is never born in adulthood. It grows quietly in childhood, watered by moments no one notices and wounds no one heals. Long before Amara Kingsley wore diamonds, before she stepped into a life scented with imported perfumes and guarded by silence, she was just Amara Okafor, a thin girl with cautious eyes growing up in a one-room apartment in Ajegunle. Their house sat close to the canal, too close. When it rained, the water crept in like an uninvited guest. Dirty water, smelling water, water that carried things you didn't want to see. Her mother, Ifunanya, worked as a roadside food seller. Her father had left before Amara learned how to spell his name. And in that house, water was never gentle. Bathing was not comfort, it was punishment. Every Saturday morning, Ifunanya would heat water in a blackened kettle, pour it into a plastic basin, and call Amara with a voice already tired. Come and bathe. But Amara never liked how the water looked. Brownish, cold one minute, burning the next. Sometimes cockroaches floated in it. Sometimes the basin had been used the night before to wash blood-stained clothes from Ifunanya's sore feet. Amara once complained, "I don't want this water." Her mother slapped her. "You think life is clean?" she shouted. "Enter." From that day, bathing became fear. And then came the incident. It happened during the rainy season when Amara was 9. The canal had overflowed. The streets smelled like rot. Children were warned not to play outside, but hunger has a way of making warnings sound optional. Amara was sent to fetch water from the public tap 2 streets away. On her way back, she slipped. The bucket fell. She fell with it into the floodwater. Water rushed into her nose, into her mouth, into her ears. She swallowed death. She swallowed shame. People laughed. Someone shouted, "Dirty girl." By the time she crawled out, soaked and shaking, her dress clung to her body, and the smell followed her home. Her mother didn't hug her. She didn't ask if she was okay. She dragged her inside, poured cold water over her head, and scrubbed her skin so hard Amara screamed. "Do you want to disgrace me? Do you know how you smell?" That night, Amara burned with fever. She dreamt of water chasing her through narrow alleys. She woke up screaming. After that, something in her broke. She stopped playing near water, stopped bathing freely, started wiping herself in corners. She discovered something early. If you stayed dry, you stayed safe. In secondary school, it got worse. Adolescence came with new smells she didn't understand and didn't want to acknowledge. Girls whispered. Desks were moved. Someone once sprayed deodorant loudly and said, "Who is smelling like gutter?" Amara learned to disappear. She sat at the back of the class. She kept her arms close. She avoided movement. And then perfume entered her life. She found a half-empty bottle in the market trash, still smelling sweet. She dabbed it on her wrists. For the first time, people leaned closer instead of away. That was the day Amara learned something dangerous. Smell could lie. From that day, perfume became power. It helped her survive school, helped her get noticed for the right reasons, helped her pretend. By the time she met Richard Kingsley years later, she had perfected the art of reinvention. New name, new clothes, new life. No one asked about her past, and she made sure water stayed far behind her. But trauma is patient. It waits. And when life raises the temperature, old fears rise to the surface. The gala night was approaching, and the girl who once fell into dirty water was about to face a truth she had avoided for decades. They say love changes people. But for Amara, love didn't change her. It hid her. By the time she met Richard Kingsley, Amara had mastered the art of becoming whoever the room needed her to be. She was no longer their Jegunle girl with canal water in her memories. She was Amara Moore, soft-spoken, elegant, and mysterious. She worked as a front desk executive in a luxury hotel on Victoria Island. Every morning, she arrived early. Hair perfect, uniform spotless, perfume carefully layered. Guests often leaned in when they spoke to her. "You smell so nice," they said. She smiled politely. They never knew that beneath the fragrance was fear, tight, constant watching. Richard Kingsley noticed her on a Tuesday, not because she was loud, not because she tried too hard, but because she didn't. He liked silence, liked control, liked things that looked composed. He was twice her age, already a billionaire, already tired of women who demanded more than he was willing to give. Amara never asked. When he spoke, she listened. When he visited, she smiled. When he invited her to dinner, she wore a long dress and made sure to stay dry, untouched by water. Their relationship grew quietly. He bought her clothes, changed her apartment, changed her name. "You don't look like an Amara," he once said. "You look international." She laughed. Inside, she erased Amara Okafor even further. Richard didn't love deeply. He loved neatly. And Amara fit perfectly into that kind of love. When he proposed, it was simple. A ring placed on her finger like a business agreement. "You'll never suffer again," he said. That was enough. Marriage elevated her overnight, from hotel receptionist to billionaire's wife, from invisibility to spotlight. But with luxury came expectations. The Kingsley mansion had water everywhere. Marble bathrooms, rain showers, jacuzzis, swimming pools. Amara avoided them all. She laughed when people suggested swimming. She said, "I don't like water," she lightly said. No one questioned it. Why would they? Rich people are allowed preferences. Her routine became more calculated. She bathed late at night when everyone was asleep. Quick wipes, careful movements, minimal water contact. She learned how to look fresh without being clean. Richard never noticed. He was rarely home. When he was tired. He preferred his space. She preferred her distance. Their marriage looked perfect from outside. Power couple, elegant wife, private jets, charity events. But intimacy never deepened. Amara avoided touch, avoided long hugs, avoided moments that might expose her. Richard didn't push. He mistook her withdrawal for class, for poise, for being low maintenance. And that was what he loved most about her. Amara is easy, he told friends. No drama. But inside the mansion, something was rotting. Perfume bottles multiplied. Her skin reacted badly. Staff noticed her never used the massive bathroom. One maid, Zainab, noticed more than others. She once entered the room after Amara left and frowned. "Madame no dey bathe," she whispered to herself. The gala invitation arrived weeks later. Richard insisted she attend. "This one is important," he said. "The press will be there." Amara's chest tightened. Crowds meant heat. Heat meant sweat. Sweat meant truth. She smiled anyway because she had spent her whole life surviving by smiling. But something about this event felt different. Bigger, louder, unavoidable. And for the first time since she reinvented herself,
Amara wondered, what happens when perfume fails?
There are some things people notice but pretend not to see. Not out of kindness, but out of fear. In the Kingsley mansion, the smell became one of those things. It didn't arrive suddenly. It crept in, like a rumor, like something everyone sensed, but no one dared to name. At first, it lingered only after Amara left the room. A faint heaviness in the air. A clash between expensive perfume and something older, something human. The housemaids adjusted quietly. Windows were open a little wider. Air fresheners are cleared in places they had never been before. Zainab, the youngest maid, was the only one bold enough to whisper. "Madame used too much perfume," she said one afternoon in the laundry room. "It's like she's hiding something." The others hissed at her. "Be quiet. Do you want trouble?" Amara noticed the changes. She always did. Fear sharpens the eyes. She saw how people stepped back slightly when she passed. How conversations paused for half a second. How drivers rolled down windows even with the AC on. At night, alone in her dressing room, she stood naked in front of the mirror. Her skin was angry. Darkened patches under her arms, rashes behind her knees, burning lines along her neck. The perfumes that once saved her were now hurting her. But water was not an option. Never water. She wiped harder, scrubbed with scented wipes until her skin stung, then layered perfume again. Stronger, cheaper, desperate. The gala was 3 days away. Everywhere she turned, people reminded her. Designers came for fittings, makeup artists tested looks, a hairstylist suggested a sleek updo. Something fresh, she said. Fresh. The word felt like mockery. On the eve of the gala, Zainab knocked on her door. "Madam," she said carefully, "should I prepare your bath for tomorrow?" Amara froze. "No," she said too quickly. Then softer, "I'll handle it." Zainab nodded, but her eyes lingered. That night, Amara sat on the edge of the enormous bathtub again. Empty. Silent. She turned the tap slightly. Water rushed out. The sound alone made her heart race. She slammed it shut. Her breathing became shallow. Images flooded her mind. Dirty flood water. Laughter. Scrubbing hands. Shame. She wrapped herself in a towel and cried. Not loudly. Billionaire wives don't cry loudly. They leak. The day of the gala arrived with heat. The kind of Lagos heat that presses against your skin like a challenge. By evening, the Kingsley mansion buzzed. Amara dressed slowly. Gold gown. Perfect makeup. Perfume. More than ever before. She hugged Richard briefly before entering the car. He frowned slightly. "You're wearing a lot of perfume," he said. She laughed nervously. "It's a long night." The venue was grand. Lights, music, people. As soon as Amara stepped inside, the heat swallowed her. Her body responded immediately. Sweat formed. Perfume mixed. Something shifted. She noticed the looks. A woman wrinkled her nose. A man leaned back slightly. Someone sprayed cologne discreetly. Amara's chest tightened. She tried to move away, to stay close to air conditioners,
to smile and nod and not breathe too deeply. But then, a sudden hush near their table. A woman whispered, not low enough, "What is that smell?" The words hit Amara like a slap. Richard turned to her, just briefly, but that glance, confused, embarrassed, questioning. The room felt smaller, hotter. The perfume was losing the fight, and Amara knew. They say a person's worst fear is not being hated, it is being seen. For Amara Kingsley, that fear came dressed in silk, lights, and polite smiles. The gala hall glowed with chandeliers. Waiters moved smoothly between tables. Cameras flashed. Laughter floated like it always did at rich people's events. Controlled, careful, hollow. Amara sat beside her husband, spine straight, smile fixed. Inside, panic clawed at her throat. The heat was unbearable. Her body betrayed her. Sweat trickled down her back, soaking into the lining of her gown. The perfume she had layered so carefully began to change. Sweet turned sharp, sharp turned sour. The air around her thickened. She noticed first when the woman across the table stopped eating. Then when someone subtly covered their nose with a napkin. Then when the man beside her leaned away just a little too obviously. Amara's heart pounded. She shifted in her seat, crossed her legs, uncrossed them. Richard leaned in. "Are you okay?" he asked quietly. She nodded too fast. "Yes." A photographer approached. "Sir, madam, just one picture." Amara stood. The movement released a wave of heat trapped against her skin. The smell surged. It was no longer subtle. Someone gasped. A woman whispered loudly, "Oh my God!" The photographer hesitated. His smile faltered. Amara felt it before she saw it. The collective awareness, like a ripple moving through water. People knew. Richard stiffened beside her. His jaw tightened. He stepped back slightly. That step hurt more than any slap ever could. Then it happened. As Amara turned to leave, dizzy and overwhelmed, her heel caught on the edge of the carpet. She stumbled. Someone reached out too late. She fell. Right there, in front of everyone. Her gown shifted. The fabric clung. The smell rose sharply, unforgiving. There was a second of silence, then murmurs. Phones lifted, not to help, but to capture. A voice whispered, "How can a billionaire's wife smell like that?" Amara wanted the floor to swallow her. She scrambled up, her hands shaking. Tears blurred her vision. She ran. Out of the hall, out of the lights, out of the lie she had been living.
In the car, she sobbed uncontrollably. Not elegant tears, ugly, shaking sobs, the kind she hadn't allowed herself since childhood. Richard followed minutes later. He did not touch her. "What is wrong with you?" he asked, his voice low and controlled. She couldn't answer. How do you explain a lifetime of fear in one sentence? By morning, the internet had decided her fate. Billionaire's wife causes stir at charity gala. What really happened to Mrs. Kingsley? Speculation spread. Cruel jokes followed. The mansion felt colder, quieter. Richard stopped coming into their bedroom. Staff avoided her eyes. Amara locked herself in the bathroom. This time, not to hide, but because there was nowhere else to run. For the first time in decades, she turned on the tap fully. Water rushed out, loud, relentless. She stared at it. Her hands trembled. And for the first time, she whispered the truth aloud. "I am afraid." Public humiliation is loud.
But what follows after is silence. The kind of silence that presses against your ears until you start hearing your own thoughts too clearly. By morning, Amara Kingsley's name was everywhere. Not in admiration, not in envy, in mockery. Blogs speculated wildly. Some said she was sick, some said she was mad. Others were crueler. Money can't buy hygiene. Imagine living with that. Amara didn't read the comments. She didn't need to. She had lived with those words long before the internet learned her name. The Kingsley mansion felt unfamiliar now. Not because it had changed, but because the illusion had cracked. Staff spoke in whispers. Movements became careful. Zainab stopped meeting her eyes. Richard retreated into his study. Hours passed, then days. No conversations, no questions, no comfort. On the third night, Richard finally spoke. They sat across from each other like strangers. "What happened at the gala embarrassed me," he said calmly. No anger. That was worse. "You could have warned me. You could have told me something was wrong." Amara stared at her hands. Her voice came out thin. "I didn't know how." He sighed. People are talking. There it was. Not concern, reputation. For the first time since their marriage, Amara felt something loosen inside her. A realization. She had been safe in this marriage not because she was loved, but because she was useful. That night, she slept alone. The next morning, a doctor arrived, then another. Tests were done. Results came back clean. "She's physically fine," one doctor said. "This looks psychological." The word landed heavily. Psychological. As if fear could be dissected and discarded easily. Richard suggested therapy, not gently, practically. "We need this fixed," he said. Fixed. Amara nodded. She had been fixing herself all her life. But this time, something felt different. She wasn't fixing herself for Richard, or the press, or society. She was tired. So deeply tired. At the therapist's office, the room was simple. Neutral colors. No judgment in the woman's eyes. "What are you afraid of?" the therapist asked softly. Amara opened her mouth and broke. Words poured out. The canal, the flood, the scrubbing, the shame, the years of hiding. For the first time, someone listened without flinching, without stepping back. "You survived," the therapist said, "but you never healed." That night, back in the mansion, Amara stood in the bathroom again. The same tub, the same tap, but she was not the same woman. She turned the water on slowly. This time, she didn't run. She stepped in, fully clothed. Water soaked her dress, her hair, her skin. She cried, but she stayed. Because healing doesn't arrive dramatically. It arrives in trembling steps. And Amara Kingsley had taken her first. Healing does not arrive all at once. It arrives in quiet moments, in small decisions, in choosing not to run. After that first night in the water, Amara did not become brave overnight. She still flinched at the sound of the tap, still hesitated before stepping into the shower, But she no longer pretended. Every session with the therapist peeled away another layer of silence. For the first time, Amara said the words she had never allowed herself to speak. I was neglected. I was shamed. I learned to survive by hiding. And with every truth spoken, the fear loosened its grip. At home, the distance between her and Richard grew clearer. He attended fewer sessions, checked in less. One evening, she finally asked the question she had avoided since the gala. If I wasn't your wife, if I embarrassed you again, would you still stay? Richard looked at her for a long time. Then he said nothing. Silence can be an answer. That night, Amara understood something painful but freeing. She had married safety, not love. And safety built on silence eventually suffocates. Weeks passed. The press moved on. Another scandal replaced hers. But inside the mansion, change continued. Amara started bathing properly. Not perfectly, but honestly. Water no longer chased her in nightmares. It became a mirror, a reminder that her body deserved care, not punishment. She donated her perfumes, all of them. She kept one simple soap, one towel, one truth, one morning. One morning, she packed her things, not in anger, in clarity. Richard watched from the doorway. Where are you going? He asked. To learn how to live, she replied. She moved into a small apartment. No marble floors, no echoing silence, just space and sunlight. Months later, Amara spoke publicly for the first time. Not at a gala, not under chandeliers, but at a women's wellness forum. She didn't wear heavy makeup. She didn't smell like roses or oud. She smelled like soap, clean, human. I was once afraid of water, she said. But what I was really afraid of was being seen. The room was silent. Then someone clapped. Then another. Amara smiled. Not the polished smile of a billionaire's wife, but the soft, imperfect smile of a woman who had faced herself and survived. She was no longer dirty, not because she bathed, but because she had washed away shame. And that changed her life forever. Healing begins when shame is spoken. If this story blessed you, tap like, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs courage today. Subscribe to Tales from Sarah's Heart for stories that speak the truth we're afraid to say out loud.